Okay. Who knows anything about Cologne Carnival?
Heard of.
Okay. Who doesn't know it? It's like the biggest celebration of the whole year here in Cologne. It's like for, if you know American culture or something, they have these big Halloween parades and everything. That's like Cologne in the January, February. And the whole of Cologne goes crazy at this time. So the traditional Cologne Carnival is celebrated from the 11th of November till the start of the Christian Easter time. In February, sometimes they have the Ash Wednesday when we start the Fastenzeit fasting. So until this time, there's the celebration of Carnival in Cologne. It started out as a pagan winter end festival, but then after, under the French, when the French reigned Cologne, it was used to make fun of the French emperors and French soldiers without having to fear any repercussions. So they just made fun of everything political, of everything that maybe was dangerous at the time, but it was okay because it was under the idea of, yeah, it's carnival, it's celebration, we just make fun of political stuff in this time, please don't kill us. And after the French left, it just stayed like that. So all the time in Cologne, when there's carnival, it's a big part to make fun of the political leaders. And because churches are so important in Cologne, it's also a big part of making fun of the church. But in this time, every year when there's carnival, everything is allowed. So the people go crazy, they drink too much, they celebrate too much. And it's tradition that you have to wear a costume. You have to just make fun of everything, and the crazier your costume is, the crazier the better. And the really big celebration is the last week of this carnival time. It's mostly in February, when there's 1 week where all the streets are filled with people from morning to midnight. There's always party anywhere, in every pub, in every street, in every restaurant. We celebrate Carnival. And yeah, that's just a big part of the culture here, and that's also a big part of Cologne music in our dialect. And Cologne, it's like a style of making fun of talking that is only used in this week on Carnival. So the first who started to make Cologne music, Cologne Carnival speeches, was Willi Ostermann. And Willi Ostermann when he died, they made him this fountain as a memory. So every year Carnival on the 11th of November starts at this point in Cologne. This is the point where the big carnival committees meet and say, okay, now we start at 11 in the morning on the 11th, and so the whole city starts at this point to celebrate Carnival. If you have time on Carnival, just come to Cologne and see it. You can't explain it if you don't see it. It's just crazy. Okay. Sorry? No, not really. It's just the same name, but the Brazilian Carnival, the only thing they have in common is these big parades through the streets. But the Brazilian Carnival is like these traditional Latin dances and everything, and these traditional Brazilian costumes. And the Cologne or the Rhineland Carnival is just really political. It's against the higher ups. And it's just great. So you don't have to have a special cultural or special tradition, just crazy. Everything crazy is okay. Okay, let's go.